Good day to my friends in Canada, and welcome to McQuade. My name is Kevin. I work for Pearl, and we're very happy to be here at the 2017 NAMM show. Got a lot of new things to talk about right now, so let's get started with the Compact Traveler drum set. Two pieces, both working with the independent style and sound of the drum head that surrounds it. It's a frame that is tunable, playable, and excellent for bistro and small gigs, street musicians. It's a 10-inch snare drum that's playable and tunable, and an 18-inch kick drum. Very special price, compact and foldable into a sold separately bag that you see right there. Great for the gigging musician as well as the compact player. Moving on up, my first drum set was a Pearl drum set. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who are the same. We want to continue that tradition with the Pearl Roadshow Series 5-piece kit. It comes complete with cymbals and hardware at a very special price. As you can see here, fantastic finishes, 3 different configurations, comes with a full lesson plan. It's a great way to start your drumming career. Now, everyone who has to play in a smaller, more confined place needs something that's going to sound like a full-size drum kit. Now, that's where the Midtown kit comes in. It comes with a standard 7-ply poplar shell that is excellent for playing in any environment, from clubs to full-on gigs, on the street, any place. It's very portable. It has a separately sold 2-piece compact bag set that you can buy. But you can see right here a 16-inch kick drum on a riser with a 10-inch rack tom and 13-inch floor tom and snare drum. Fantastic for the gigging player. Obviously, the Export is the best-selling drum set of all time, and we want to continue that tradition as well. The Export Series kit comes in a new, beautiful electric blue finish, 5-piece kit. The price is staying the same this year as it has for the last 5 years. It's a great drum set. It's just a step up for the beginning player who wants to start off with class. Export has a reputation, and we are very proud of it, very excited about it. From there, we want to talk to you about your first professional drum set, and that is the Decade Maple Series kit. Decade Maple is a great place to start for the professional musician. It's a great thing for an intermediate player that wants to take a step up in their personal playing platform. Decade starts with a 6-ply, very thin maple shell. It's an all maple shell. Comes in a variety of different beautiful, transparent, and gloss lacquer finishes. Comes in 3-piece, 5-piece, and 7-piece configurations, and has add-on component toms from 8 inches all the way up to 18 inches. One of the things that we're launching this year that we're very excited about is the addition of gong bass drums. They're available at a special price also. Decade Maple is a spectacular drum kit that sounds amazing, and most especially the price is right. It's great for the gigging player who wants something that they can take out to a gig or to a recording session that has that pure maple tone, but that they're not going to be afraid to actually gig on. It's got high-end sound, high-end features, and a very, very low, reasonable price. Great for the gigging player. Moving on from there, something a little special right here, Crystal Beat. We were the originator of the seamless acrylic drum shell back in the 70s, and Crystal Beat came back a couple of years ago to continue that tradition. Comes with a 7mm solid seamless acrylic shell. Comes in 4 different finishes. Has that pure, no nonsense, no overtone, straight tone type of a sound. Great for the visual as well as the sonic aspect of live performance. Wood Fiberglass is another one of those legacy type products for us. We were the first company to fuse a synthetic with a natural shell in the 70s with our fiberwood drums. The Wood Fiberglass drums continues that with a 7-ply Kapoor shell with a very thin layer of lacquer applied fiberglass in the interior. It has a very, very warm sound with a nice top end spike across the top with that fiberglass. It's a great, very modern sounding, it's actually very sort of a modern vintage type of a sounding drum set. This configuration that you see right here has a 26-inch kick drum with a 13-inch rack tom and a 16-inch floor tom. It also comes in a similar configuration with a 24 or a 22-inch bass drum. So a great sounding kit, a great looking kit. Session Studio Classic is great for the recording drummer, and it's actually found a home with a lot of R&B, hip-hop type of players, gospel players. They love that bright, focused, fat sound that comes from the Birch Kapoor shell. As you can see right here, this is a new finish that we're debuting here. This is actually from our reference series. This is Platinum Mist finish. You can see there's an iridescent quality to that natural maple gloss finish. It's beautiful, it sounds spectacular, and it's priced right. It's a professional drum kit that's not going to have a professional price tag. Moving up from there, Masters Maple Complete. An even ply 6 thin maple shell with 45-degree bearing edges. Comes in a variety of different lacquer finishes as well as rack, floor, and kick drum configurations. Most of our endorsing artists actually play the Masters Maple Complete because it's a sound that you can rely on. Straight maple tone, resonant, full, fantastic for projection, fantastic for excellent sound. This is a great drum set at a great price for the professional player for gigging and recording. From there, we have Masters Maple Reserve. Now, Masters Maple Reserve actually has a 4-ply maple shell with 4-ply maple reinforcement rings. It's a recreation of the classic MRX drum set from the 80s that Pearl made. It was a legendary sound, a legendary look. This kit actually, in reality, is more like a Masterworks drum set. It's very, very high end, and the reason why is because the veneers and the shell plies that come from our Masterworks vault are actually part of the Masters Maple Reserve. It's just like having a Masterworks kit that's focused down to one shell type and one hardware selection, which is our CL bridge lugs, fat tone hoops. This is a new finish right here, walnut, antique walnut with natural maple hoops in a satin. Beautiful, fantastic sound, beautiful, fantastic finishes, and just an all-around great thing for anybody who wants to get into a professional Pearl drum set. From there, we take a leap forward into Reference and Reference Pure. That's over here. Follow me. Now, when we launched the Masterworks program in the year 2000, there were literally thousands of different choices that you could choose from to personally customize your own drum set. There have been a couple of things that we've done with those choices that have narrowed the field a little bit. The first one was the reference recipe, where we individually tested each drum for its perfect selection as far as wood, shell, and hardware to create the best sound for that individual drum. The reference recipe includes different shell types and edges to get the best sound from each individual drum. It's kind of like looking at a keyboard. If you think of the 12-inch tom as middle C and the rest of the drums as being other keys on that keyboard, you're going to get different sounds from different notes because you're using different size and different tension strings. Well, the reference recipe is very similar to that, where you have a combination of birch and maple and anything that is higher than a 10-inch drum, 10-inch or 8-inch. The 12-inch tom is all maple, and anything that's larger than 12-inch from 13 on down is going to be a combination of maple and mahogany or straight mahogany, depending on its use. These are excellently fine-tuned, beautiful high-end drums, starting with the Projection Master, which is the reference drum set over there that uses our BRL swivel tube lugs. We have new options for those this year, including black nickel hardware and 6 new finishes to choose from that are all pristine lacquers. And then we have the thinner shell version of that drum set, which is Reference Pure, that uses our swivel tube lug. The combination of these two items is either excellent for touring, excellent for high-impact drumming, or great for nuanced type playing for the near-field experience, which is what the Reference Pure takes care of. Masterworks started in the year 2000 as the ultimate destination for customization for the high-end drummer. We wanted to be able to give every option for customizing your own kit, whether it was selecting the wood that you're using and the plies, the edge you're using the plies, the color, everything down to the color of the shell or the color of the hardware. It's all up to you. It's all personal choice. But with the thousands of different choices that you can choose from, we found that there were people who didn't know where to start. So what we wanted to do was select 5 different playing environments or genres and whittle it down to shells and combinations that would be ultimate for those type of environments. Think of making a cake. Different ingredients create different flavors. And so what we did was we created Sonic Select shell recipes from Masterworks. 5 different shell recipes that produce 5 different genre-specific type sounds. And where it starts is right here in the studio environment. The studio recipe creates beautiful, solid, articulate tone for the studio environment with a thin gum maple shell with a 60-degree bearing edge and our standard CL bridge lug and die-cast hoops. That recipe creates a beautiful mixture between articulation, power, sustain, and beautiful tone. Now, on the opposite end of that spectrum, we have the Stadium recipe, which is a modern representation of our classic CZX shell. It's a thick, 10 and 8 ply all maple shell with veneers from our Masterworks vault. So you're getting the very best cuts of North American maple in a very thick ply shell that will be ultimate for the studio or stadium type player who wants power, projection, cut, and articulation. Now, if you want that power, that cut, that articulation, but you're more in the gospel, R&B, hip-hop type playing, we have the urban recipe. The urban recipe combines a very thin ply birch, gumwood, birch shell, and then puts maple reinforcement rings on both ends. So you're getting all that top end pop for articulation and fast chops, but you're still getting a nice low bottom end for the fundamental. These drums are spectacular for those environments, whether in the stadium or the sanctuary, by combining a rounded 45-degree bearing edge, Pearl Super Hoop 2 hoops, 2.3 millimeter, and the full swivel tube lug. Great for the touring player, great for the studio player, all about top end projection and low bottom end. Now, away from that, we wanted to create something that would be attractive to a guy who maybe isn't used to the Pearl type of a sound. What we came up with was the modern dry recipe. It's over here. Modern dry is a new sort of testing ground for Pearl. It took a lot of time and a lot of effort to create this shell, but we're so happy with the results. Just looking at the interior of the shell, you can see there's something really special going on here. What you're seeing is a 4-ply shell, exterior maple, interior gumwood with mahogany reinforcement rings. What that does is it creates a very soft tone, low focused, pillowy sound with reduced sustain, but with power and articulation, a very pillowy, dry type of a sound. It's great for EDM type playing, DJ playing, Americana music, excellent for the current type of a player. It's also using a very unique reverse 45-degree bearing edge. A normal bearing edge will start from the inside and go out. This one has a bearing edge that starts from the outside and goes in. It meets the drum head just past the collar, and it reduces overtone, it reduces sustain, but it gives that pillowy, fat type of a sound that's very hip for current players. As you can see right here, we have a new exterior exotic veneer. This is Black Limba from Cameroon. It represents a beautiful vertical grain. It is available in a variety, in your choice really, of lacquer, satin, or gloss finishes. This kit also features die-cast tubes, our single swivel tube lug, and nickel plating. Not black nickel, not chrome, but nickel plating. It has a very smooth, sexy look to it. We have one last recipe to talk about in Masterworks, and that's over here. The Heritage recipe is actually a modern representation of Pearl's MHX recipe shells that were from the mid-90s. It's a beautiful combination of maple and mahogany for fat, low-focused tone that's also very articulate, that sounds spectacular in any environment, but is especially good with, say, like guitar rock or country. It has that vintagey type of a sound with a modern spin. So it's a 4-ply shell, maple, mahogany, with maple reinforcement rings in our standard 45-degree bearing edge. Using a reduced hardware configuration with our single STL lugs, our very thin but very rigid fat tone hoops, and a variety of different lacquer options. As you can see, this kit right here has gold-plated hardware. Masterworks actually gives you the option of selecting from 5 different plating options for your hardware, whether it's gold, nickel, black lacquer, or even standard chrome. They're all available at no extra charge, which is a spectacular thing about Masterworks. Now, opposite that is our new modern utility snare drums. We wanted to create a line of snare drums that would fit in very well for a working man type player who needs something that you can expand your drum voices with, but without a lot of cash. Let's go take a look at that really quick. Modern utility drums were created specifically for the working player in mind. I mean, we know that there are a lot of gigging players out there who need to expand their drumming voice, but don't want to do it at the expense of a really big price tag. And so what we did was we created 5 different models in 2 different lacquer finishes with a 6-ply maple shell, so you get that tried and true maple sound without a lot of cash investment, right? Starting with a 12x7 model here, 13x5, 14x5.5, 14x6.5, and the massive 14x8. These drums are available at a spectacular price. Great options for expanding your drumming voice without a lot of investment, so you can add multiple voices to your setup and they'll perform the way you want them to. It's a good old-fashioned workhorse type of a drum that's available at a great price. The last thing we want to talk about are two spectacular new signature items that we're creating for some of our marquee artists. We had a couple of milestones this year that happened, and that is the 30th anniversary of the endorsement of Omar Hakim and Eric Singer. These are two very different players with very different playing styles, and so what we wanted to do is create two metal shell drums that represent that kind of dichotomy. We started with Omar Hakim, a 14 by 6.5 steel beaded shell that goes through a very unique molecular process called PVD. Essentially, a coating is applied, it's put in an oven, and the atoms form together to create what's called titanium nitride. It's molecules of titanium on a shell to create this beautiful iridescent look. It's a 14 by 6.5 beaded shell that uses our single swivel tube lugs, our clip lock strainer, and creates a very loud, articulate, and overtone vibey kind of a sound for a very versatile player like Omar Hakim. On the other side of that spectrum, we have a very special 30th anniversary model for Eric Singer, a drummer from Kiss, and multiple other fantastic bands from the last 3 decades. He's been a very, very proud Pearl endorser for the past 30 years, and he loves collecting vintage Pearl drums. One of the things that he's most proud of is his collection of vintage Jupiter snare drums. And it was a drum that created quite a reputation for itself as being excellent for the studio or for live because of its loud, articulate, and poppy nature. This is a 14 by 6.5 chrome over brass shell with our CL arch lugs and 2.3 millimeter Super Hoop 2 hoops. This is a great drum that has a very nice articulate sound to it that's great for high volume, for a sensitive play, and for everything in between. Last but not least is the Rapid Lock hi-hat clutch. Okay, so I just did my gig. I've just talked to my fans. I'm ready to break down my rig. I'm done. I want to get out of the club. What do? Do I take this off and start unscrewing? No. All I do is I take this off the hi-hat stand, 2 pinches, I'm ready to go. This is the Rapid Lock hi-hat clutch. It's available in standard grip, vice grip, and drop clutch models. You can see right here, it's a patented spring-loaded dual action clutch that just simply disengages. You pop it into place. It works on any hi-hat stand, and it's ready to go. Beautifully simple, very easily patented design that is designed with a gigging drummer in mind. Now, we've got a bunch of other things I'd like to show you, but unfortunately we're out of time. But check out pearldrum.com and visit our friends at Long & McQuade for all your Pearl needs. In the meantime, I'm Kevin from 2017 at the NAMM Show. Keep the rhythm.